Hi there, this is Philip again with my Visual Basic Chapter 9 Programming Challenge number 2. Essentially, this application is a continuation of the programming challenge from Chapter 1. Basically, the user inputs data, and then the second programming challenge is where the application takes that user input and then reads it into a separate program. Now, in order to accomplish this, I did have to take a look at some comments on Stack Overflow. I wanted the program to be able to kind of move very smoothly through the various employees that were added to each document. And so Stack Overflow was very useful for helping me to kind of find that next step in setting that up. That being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the actual application. So looking at the code for my programming challenge, which I decided to call employee directory, essentially what I started off with was a string in order to declare the file name that the user decides to input. I also have an integer I, which is set to equal 1. This basically keeps a running tab of what record the user is looking at, and it also displays it out to the user. That way they are able to kind of keep track of where they are. Before the program even loads, it's going to ask you for the location of your employee records. Within this application, it's in my debug folder, and it's entitled temp.txt. After that, we can go ahead and move forward to the actual application. So essentially what I wanted to be able to do was to call specific lines of text from the file that the user selected. In order to do this, like I said, I did take a look at Stack Overflow until I found something that worked. Once I found that, the program moves very smoothly from record to record, and it also spits out the correct lines of information for each employee. So it was of great help to be able to kind of figure that out. So you can see that I basically have it set up for each employee. Since there are only 6 employees with this example, I did set up an else, which basically says you've reached the end of the file. Some other methods for doing that might include causing the message to pop up once you actually reach the final line of the file. But this seemed basically just the simplest way, given that we have a very small sample size. In the event that it fails to read the file, it's going to pop up a message that says no file found, basically, or failed to read file. If you click the clear button, it's actually going to reset the entire program. It's also going to set I, which is your record number, back to 1, which essentially restarts the entire program. And then, of course, your close button, which is going to close out the program. So let's take a look at the program in action. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and input my file. All right, and it's going to bring up the application. So I'm going to click Next Record to view the first one. All right, as you can see, it brings up the record for number 1, and then it's got all of his information. If I click Next Record, it's going to move forward. Next record, it moves forward again. Next record, it moves forward again. Next record, next record. After record 6, it's going to pop up telling us that we've reached the end of the file, but that if we clear the program, it's going to restart the process. So clear. All right, and if we hit next record, once again, it's going to continue to go through those records. Something that I thought would be kind of nice to add to this would actually be if the user could select which record they wanted to be able to look at a specific time. I think that would make the program quite a bit more usable. And I think that would be pretty easy to set up. Instead of having the record number display or keeping the record number displayed, you could add in a user input that basically just allows them to input the record number that they wanted to look at, which could then cross-reference the I value and figure out where to start displaying the information. All that being said, if you click the exit button, the program closes, and as you can see, everything seems like it's functioning as if it should. I hope that you have enjoyed taking a look at my work, and I look forward to our next Visual Basic project. Thank you.